Hi, welcome to ShopTalk. My name is Lila Jones, and I thank you so very much for tuning in on today. Today we have, to me, the infamous, talented, gifted Miss Tameka Phillips. She's going to inform y'all on some health and wellness. I can't help you much on this here. I have no education in this. I have no idea. I'm the worst person in the world that could actually give you any information on this because, as you know, I'm a fried chicken eater. So she's going to really inform y'all on actually what I'm going through now, the change of life, of course, which I've been going through for years, and just how it affects your body and probably even your emotions. So she's going to tell all this. I can't help you with this here, but she's going to help you out quite a bit today. She is well educated in it. She's very talented and she's very gifted, and she's able to inform you how to take care of your body. So thank you again for tuning into Shop Talk. We have a beautiful show for you on today.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Tameka Phillips, also known as Diva. I am here today with you on Shop Talk to speak about health and wellness in and beyond the chair. Hence the name Shop Talk. I too am a stylist along with Miss Lila, and not only that, I am also an exercise scientist. Health and wellness along with the beauty industry have been a passion of mine for a very, very long time. And I am almost 30 years in the game, and with that I have learned a lot of do's and a lot of don'ts. And with me being in this beautiful industry as long as I have been, I've also been an athlete all my life, and combining those two things and just the comparisons that they have, you'd be amazed at exactly how they intertwine together to create not just a healthier, better you on the outside when we help you be all beautiful and glam, but from the inside as well to actually allow us to be able to service you better. So I think that's about it just for now. And Ms. Lila, you have anything you want to ask me? We'll say this is pertaining to yourself, like opposed to anybody, because women represent women.
Yes. So
any question or concerns, anything you may have, everybody else may have it as well.
Well, I do want to ask about you said health and wellness, especially, and as you say, beyond the chair, but also beyond 40.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. Of course, I'm far from that, but I do want to know how can you help women that are going through hot flashes or just a change of life overall.
Right.
And then I do notice, I have noticed years ago that, you gain a little weight that seemingly you just can't get rid of. And especially if you're like me, just doing all the wrong things. But help us out with that, because we need help, okay?
It's amazing because that part of our life happens at different times for so many different people. Some women don't enter it or begin to see the symptoms of it until they're well into their 40s or 50s, but you have some women like me who began in their late 20s, early 30s.
I did too, so did I.
Really?
Yes.
So, and that's always hereditary. So the number one thing that we as women need to make sure we always do, if you have not had that conversation with mama, have that conversation with mama. What are the things that you went through? What are the things that your mom went through or aunts went through? Because it's almost always 99% of the time hereditary.
Okay.
So if you can remember witnessing, even though you probably didn't know what it was that you were witnessing, but witnessing your mom or your grandmother doing certain things,
yes,
it's kind of starting to make sense to start to click.
Yeah, I really thought, my mother, of course, was also a licensed stylist, and of course I just thought she was just maybe hot, or why is she turning, back then I'm like skinny and I couldn't take too much air. It would be freezing in there. But now I want to apologize, although she isn't here anymore, for the thoughts that I had. Like, why is it so cold here? Why she have it so cold in here? So I understand quite well now.
Yes, ma'am. The thing with hot flashes, so flashes, let's hit on flashes first, because this can go so many different levels just on this subject alone. And flashes come because of estrogen and the lack thereof. If you are a woman who do not have a POC, which is PC, primary care physician, go to them. have tests ran, do blood work. You need your levels checked because your estrogen is always going to play a part in that. And if you're not supplementing, should the doctor say you may be okay and not need anything prescription, but if you're not supplementing just regularly as a woman, we as women should be taking some type of multivitamin anyway to kind of offset some things. But if you are not supplementing, I highly recommend that. But getting into the flashes, we began to have lack of estrogen, which leads to our body being like, imagine being in a car and you put the car in drive, but then all of a sudden it's about to shift it back to neutral,
right,
and it's going full speed, and the car's like, oh my God, what in the world is going on? Do I stop? Do I keep going? Do I reverse? That's what our bodies are doing. And if there's nothing to combat it, then it's just going to go haywire. That's one thing. Supplementing. Caffeine is a humongous other. Coffee, soda, anything sugar infested, things like that. I know if we tend to say I'm gonna stay away from the caffeine, let me get a diet soda or anything like that, it doesn't matter. It's still going to affect you. Water is our best solution.
Now I do find that water really cools my body off, but I had no idea that you was going to come here today and talk, bad about me with the sodas and the coffee and the sweets, the candy bars to try to keep me going. Yeah, that is me.
And it's amazing.
Wait a minute now.
It's amazing because we crave it more. When we get to this point, we absolutely crave it more, but that's because our body is lacking. Estrogen is like, oh, I've been out the door. You just ain't paying me no mind.
Right.
Young and invincible, and you just didn't want to be affected by any of this. But it's just been waiting to sit, just tap you on your shoulder and be like, yeah, you remember when you used to do all of that? Yeah, we can't do that no more. So our body's response to it is nothing like what it used to be. We actually lost those defenses back in our 20s. And we began to go through certain things in our bodies very, very early on. Men too, but women just a few years sooner. But like I said, we're so active and going, and we're not really paying attention to the fact that my body may be kind of starting to change, because we can start to tell after a while. Early on, our body chemistry changes. The deodorants you use don't work the same anymore. Soaps tend to irritate us. Laundry detergent seems to irritate us. With me, it was shampoo. Like I began to notice that certain shampoos I've been using for forever, they started to irritate me. But we don't pay that no mind. Those little things are signs that things that once didn't bother us and start to bother us, we began to be like, oh, that company must have changed something. It's not handling it anymore. When in actuality, it's our body chemistry that is reacting, or should I say responding to what that is, which is why it's so important that you go to your primary care physician and be like, look, I think I could be wrong, but I really do think my body going through some changes. Can we just check some stuff?
Yes.
Because it could be the most minuscule thing, and that one little bitty small thing could just like change so much, even down to the way one thing that we also go through with our hormonal imbalances is our metabolism. And with our metabolism acting up, that's when we start to get the crazy bloating and the crazy cravings for sugar and things cold. Like we want to have something cold to drink, like cold soda especially, or cold water, or things like that. That's our body's way of saying you're missing something, you're deficient in something or somewhere, and we need to figure out what that is so we don't start supplementing it the wrong way.
Yeah, and I think, I know that is exactly what I've been doing, supplementing the wrong way, because if I'm tired, then I say, I need a Pepsi. Next thing you know, I got to run outside or turn the air straight to cold because I am so hot. Of course, as you just said, that is from the caffeine. And it does seem to give me a boost, but when it's gone, I feel sluggish and tired. It's like I don't have any energy.
That's because of your metabolism.
Okay.
Your metabolism plays a huge part. Our metabolism is our body's system of breaking things down. And it's how our body, imagine a hamster on the wheel.
Yes.
Going, and it's like the faster the more healthy that hamster is, the faster it can go in that just wheel, get turning. That's how it is in the beginning. But we'll be that way when we get that boost. But after a while, the hamster done got off the wheel, and the wheel's still going, but it's got to slow down because nothing is pushing it anymore. So guess what? We got to fix it again. So we go get another Pepsi, or we go put something in our mouth for sugar, because then chemically it's saying this is what I need to get this going. But in actuality, because of our it's not the best way to combat that. We have to really sit and think of like, okay, I can't satisfy that craving. That craving is not necessarily what I need. That's just my body's way of trying to let me know that I need a supplement.
So are you sort of saying that before you fix it in your body, you almost have to fix it in your mind?
Absolutely. We were going to get to that. Another part of that change of life is the mental. And when you go through that, your mental is absolutely one of the very first things that's affected. But we don't see it as that. But if you really think about it, the first thing we start to do or change with ourselves is the physical. When we begin to have these little weird tendencies in our within ourselves, something's not right anymore. I'm not feeling as attractive. Why my skin look like this? I hate my hair. I just want to change. I don't think I look the same anymore. Maybe if I do this, or we start to have all of these different conversations within ourselves because we're too insecure to have it with anybody else.
Right.
So we keep it within ourselves. And when you do that, it affects the mental even more when that is indeed a chemical imbalance. And those things can too be combated with supplements. But something like that, on top of everything else, is one of those things that you really want to be adamant about when speaking with your physician, because believe it or not, it can really go a little further than what it has to go, and then we start making irrational decisions and irrational changes within ourselves that we feel is something that we need, just like going back to wanting the sugar and the caffeine, when really it's not. It's a chemical thing, and that goes right back into really needing to get that balance back together. Again, going into how our body metabolizes. Getting your metabolism together is one of the key things that will get our bodies back in alignment. And like I said, your metabolism is your body's way of breaking things down, either how fast or how slow, depending on how your metabolic rate is within yourself. So if with us, women who are facing that change of life, and believe it or not, men too, but they don't go through it should be menopause. Right. But with us, mainly because of estrogen, which just bears a completely different weight than testosterone. But with going through the levels of that with the mental, we spend so much time with ourselves, and we're not, like I said again, we're not making rational decisions. And we start looking for ways to supplement the wrong way. We're losing sleep, which makes us more irrational, because you're not going to sleep. The sleeping is going to be interrupted by heat. It's going to be almost always interrupted by heat. It's going to be interrupted by just your body's timing, your body's clock. But again, that's that chemistry.
Because those hot flashes come like, maybe like contractions, like every few minutes.
Ma'am. Absolutely.
It's like, I don't know, I'm just
out of the blue.
I'm just hot, and then I'm very cold. Just
like that. Yes. And it's amazing how big, when we go on that super cold phase really quickly, that's our body's way of saying this is not what I'm supposed to, because we're not supposed to overheat. If we go into overheating, especially with a spike in temperature, especially the older you get, your blood pressure can be extremely affected by that, and you could potentially have a stroke, which is why in women, 90% of, especially women of color, but predominantly women, period, but mainly women of color, are more likely to have a stroke or heart attack behind that very thing. And if we are not catching it ahead of time, 9 times out of 10 we don't, because we ignore a lot of the symptoms. We just think automatically, I just know I'm a woman, and women go through these things, and we are supposed to have these things happen. That's our body. Our body is human. It's just a big cellular makeup. Our skin is one big cell. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, but we have to be able to catch it as fast as possible, even really before it gets to that point. But as soon as you have revelation, it's just like being a believer. As soon as you may not know you're doing wrong, but the moment you know, you immediately make that change, or else you're not going to get different results. It's just all about starting. So once you find this out, or see that, okay, I think this is, my body's responding this way now, okay, let me start to pay more attention. at around this time of day. Believe it, the time of day makes a difference. What you ate last night makes a difference. What you ate the day before makes a difference. That is amazing.
It does.
It really does. And that all goes down into how we metabolize. It's mainly metabolism over anything else. We are going to be breaking down, we're going to be filtering our kidneys, our pancreas. It filters. That's our system to filter. That's our Brita. The Brita water system that they have. Right. That's our system. And if you also begin to notice, two things happen it's crazy. We urinate more, way more.
Yes.
We have to constantly run to the bathroom. That's our body's way of trying to eliminate fluid. And that's no different than us perspiring. It has to release. But we lack in the bowel movements. We do it, and we may find ourselves doing it more often, but it's really not as much. But we do have a tendency to say, okay, I just use the bathroom, but even if I may have to use it a little bit, but it won't be enough. That in itself is another thing. All the way down to our body's ability to break down what it is that we are taking in, solid or liquid. And when you are going, I don't know if you notice, older people have doctors tend to put them more on a more liquid diet opposed to solid foods.
Yes,
but it's because of the body's ability to break down the way it should. If you are medicated, that's affected because the way our body breaks down, our metabolism causes our body to break down, especially if the foods aren't doing what it is supposed to do, especially if we put it in improper foods. Our medications are not going to break down and metabolize the way they need to. And then you tell the doctor, something's not right, it's just medication not working, I've been using this for this long and it's just not working. The medication is always going to act the way it's supposed to act. It's going to do exactly what it was manufactured to do. But our body, depending on how our body or our system is responding to it, is going to determine if indeed it will or can work for us the way it should.
Well, let me say this here. When you said that, some women, how they ignore the changes that they're going through, which me personally think that I can understand them ignoring it, although it is not the right thing to do. But women being nurturers, and a lot of times the leader in their home,
right?
And even with, even because she's a teacher, a woman is, she's a teacher. It's just, she can't help it. That's just how she was created. I don't think they intentionally want to ignore it, but sometimes I can understand them thinking, well, if something go wrong, I won't be able to work. I have to take care of my family. And I can understand them. It is not the right thing to do. I want to say that to the audience. It is not the right thing to do, but still I can see them ignoring that for those reasons.
Right.
And I noticed that, of course, my husband had a stroke in 2009. But I noticed when women have strokes, that it's hard for them to get back on their feet. And I think because the depression come in where I'm used to helping my family. I'm used to doing this and that for my family. And now I can't do that anymore. Right. And I really believe that it affects them totally differently because they're nurturers.
That is very, very true. Strokes also, when they hit, depending on the type of stroke, will determine what part of the brain that is affected. And depending on what part of the brain is affected is going to determine the mobility or immobility or your ability to be able to do things the way you used to before, even your response to how you recover or rehabilitate yourself. But as far as the women go, and I can personally say from female clients and male clients that I've had that have had strokes or family members that have, before they even get to that point, you are absolutely right. Mainly women, our first complaint that we don't mind voicing, we won't voice anything about our physical body. Right. But the one thing we will voice is how tired we are of doing this, and this, and nobody doing anything for us. Right. But culturally, and I say culturally not with ethnicity, but culturally as women, it's typically been embedded in us that that's what we're supposed to do. What we should be doing is knowing, learning, understanding, comprehending, and receiving is that as women, if we are not any good for ourselves, then we're not going to be
exactly right.
good for anybody
exactly
else.
Right.
And what we are teaching our daughters and what we are teaching our sons to look for in the mother of their children,
right.
or wives or life partner, is that the woman is supposed to do exactly what I'm used to seeing, when in actuality that's completely unhealthy.
Yes.
That leads to so many different unnecessary forms of chaos that could be in your life, in turn affecting everything around you. It affects the peace in your home. It affects the love that you, not just that you give out, but you receive.
Yes.
You have to really ask yourself, is what it is that I'm giving, is that really me, or is that a symptom of something else? Why is it that I feel like I have to do this? Why do I feel like I don't deserve to sit down for a minute and do a wealth check or a health check on myself?
Yes.
Listen to what's going on in your mind. Follow the instincts that you feel in your body. Sit down really, and I tell my own personal clients this, sit down and really take a few minutes and check your body. Just like before, as soon as you crank up a car before you go out of town, you check certain things.
Yes.
You check those knobs in the car, you check those needles, everything, because you want to make sure that you're going to get to your destination safely.
Yes.
If you know it needs certain things, you're going to take it to wherever it's got to go so that it can get those things. Same things, because you have, that car has an expectation to get you where you got to go. Now you got to carry me, so whatever it is I got to do for you, I'm gonna make sure you get it, because you're housing me to get me to my destination. It's the same thing with our bodies. With our bodies, we have to do the exact same thing. Do a wealth check of yourself. Sit down, go in your closet, get somewhere away from everybody. Make sure people know, whether it's one other person in your house or 12 other people in your house, or even if it's during your work day, you just got to let people know, I'm not taking any calls right now or anything. I need a moment.
Yes.
Take that time, even if it's only 5 minutes. I always want them in the bathroom on the toilet, which is hardly ever, because we always on our feet when we get to sit down.
Yes, yes.
But when I sit, when I get on the toilet, I sit and I really take that time in. Mika, check your body. Really feel what's going on. Is there anything that you're ignoring? Do you have a headache? Are your shoulders tense? Is your neck hurting?
Yes.
Is your back hurting?
Yes.
Is your stomach hurting? Or listen to your feet. Like, pay attention to those things. 9 times out of 10, it's because of something else that has nothing to do with the body physically itself. Excuse me. It likely has a lot to do with the stress and the tension we're putting on ourselves, which starts here first. And our bodies it's amazing how we'll command our bodies to do exactly what the word says, but we don't walk in that.
Right.
You're supposed to act this way because this is what it says you're supposed to do. But, and I'm sorry, I pertain things to the Word of God. Hebrews 11 speaks on being disciplined. And if that's what it commands, and that's what we have to do. So we really have to take on 100% ownership and responsibility, especially as women, and especially even more of being women of color. As we get older, no matter how beautiful you are, how good you look in your clothes and all that on the outside,
yes,
one day your body is going to shut down because you've ignored things for too long. And no, we can't afford that.
This happened to me at the salon. The night before, I had taken Mucinex. Because I had just a cough, an agitating cough, but I forgot that I had taken it. I think it's every 12 hours you take this, and I had taken it maybe 2 to 3 hours prior, and I forgot. I went downstairs to speak with my grandson, and I just forgot. So I said, I'm still coughing, so I took another, but I just really forgot that I had taken it. So I began to hallucinate. I got dizzy. I got hot, faint, everything. So, of course, we prayed, my husband, my grandson, and I, we prayed and we believed God, and I felt fine. But the next day in the salon, I'm passing out. I'm sick. I'm weak. I'm really sick. They had to call the ambulance. I had to go to the hospital. Everything was happening. But the thing is, by the time the ambulance got there, I was so much better, because I was weak and I was tired and I was a bit faint, but a reminder, which will be the Holy Spirit, came and said, reminding me of that covenant. And I began to declare that covenant that I had and have with God. And I'm telling you, by the time they got me to the hospital, they were like, well, are you okay? I was like, well, I was, until you drove me so fast. But I'm telling you, I really forgot that I had taken that Mucinex, and it really did affect my body. Of course, I'm never going to take it again, but I don't do very well with medicine, strong medications, but you do have to take care of your body. And even when my husband had the stroke, I knew to take care of myself, because what good, as you said earlier, would I be to him, for him, if I did not take care of myself? Right. So again, I thank you so very much, because it is amazing. You have to come back, because this can't be the end of this here. I know it's probably a part 2 and 3, because women are out here that need to take care of themselves. Absolutely. Mentally, physically, emotionally. You just have got to take care of yourself, and they're not doing it. We're not, culturally, I would say that we're not good with that. We keep so many things within ourselves. Right. We don't want to share how we feel, but when you share how you feel, you find out you're not the only one. Absolutely. So if you find someone that you can share, and a lot of times clients share with their stylist because they can trust them, but if you find someone that you can share with, I think it is a good thing to get it out of you and not let it sit there and turn into something else. And if you are tired with your family, you have to let them know. But if you don't start out letting them know, they don't know. They think that this is what you do. You enjoy doing this. You enjoy it's expected, and you enjoy moving like a robot. But no, you're tired, and you really have to take care of yourself.
And it's totally fine with that.
Yes.
Understand that that's fine. Understand that that's okay. Understand that that's required.
Yes.
Even Jesus went and rested.
Exactly.
We have to rest. We have to rest. We have to rest, especially the older we get. I mean, we don't have time. It's just going so fast. But joint health is a part of this. Like you said, emotional health is a part of this. Mental health is a part of this. Your stress levels, and stresses aren't always bad. There are some good stressors, but the bad ones absolutely cause more harm than the good. But if I can end this particular segment with anything, it would be to praise the smallest things about yourself, because as time goes on, like I always say, I have to keep myself reminded of this so that I can remember to move forward happy and healthy. There are more days behind us than ahead. Yes. We can't get any of those things back. Time is one of those things that when it's gone, it's gone. Yes. You can't catch up with anything.
As my mother used to say, time wait for no one.
It's going to keep going.
Yes.
And when you're gone, life is going to presume, it's going to move forward, it's going to move on, and you'll just be a memory. And we have to make sure that on this side, we are very well handled and taken care of, so that when we are gone, we have left that stamp, at least that legacy that we've left is take care of yourself, take care of your body, mind, spirit, soul, and all other things will fall into place.
And and that is the thing about that stress level. You have to keep that in check.
Absolutely.
Yes, because it can go to a whole nother level. I'm asking you to come back.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this isn't over with. Because it is so important that we get this information out. I thank you so very much for getting this information out. I'm telling you, I could do better. That's what I'm going to say. I could do a whole lot better.
That's the start.
Yes, about taking care of myself and stop wearing the stuff, like I'm going to the gym, like I go, but actually take care of myself. Absolutely. And I would like for you to help me along the way.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you are an expert in it. Yes.
I love what I do, and I want us to live. It's not fair for everybody else to be out here living a life that we're supposed to live.
That is exactly right.
We gotta do that. It's for all to see.
Yes. Okay, all right. Well, I tell you, it was really good, informative, and I felt guilty about some things.
Conviction is a good thing.
Yes. Guilt will lead me to righteousness, I guess.
Okay. The answer is always there.
Yes.
I would like to thank you all for tuning in today and supporting Miss Lila on this journey that she is on. I really hope that I left you with some nuggets. I hope that you were absolutely informed. I hope that questions were raised. I hope that you can honestly look at yourself in the mirror from this point on and say, you know what, let me make a checklist. I really do hope that doing those small things will allow you to understand that you do matter and that you deserve health and wellness on this side, and so that you can walk out the rest of your days in as beautiful a life as possible. I want you to live your golden years on this side. So
Yes.
if nothing else, again, my name is Tameka Phillips, and if you have any questions or concerns, you would like to reach out to me. If you have any questions, you can reach me at Be Well with Diva. That's BEWELLWITHDEVAH @gmail.com. Feel free to email me anytime, and I am here for you. And I look forward to seeing you all again. There will be another segment of this because there are always so many questions, and I highly encourage you all to stay tuned, because I can assure you, even though we can't physically see you, your questions are going to be answered.
Thank you again for tuning into Shop Talk on today. I hope that y'all learn a lot about yourself, a lot about health and wellness. I hope that you got some answers. And I feel sure that somebody got some answers out there, because of course I got plenty of answers. So I hope you all enjoyed today. Please tune in again. Again, my name is Lila Jones. Thank you again for tuning in to Shop Talk.